Greetings and salutations, dear viewers, and welcome back to the realm of Final Fantasy XIV. Today we're tackling, technically, this was from the previous patch, and a new one is now out. However, this was recorded during the previous patch, and I haven't got around to recording the commentary for it until now. We're tackling last patch's Extreme Mode Primal. Sephirot Extreme, also known as the Fiend. For this, I joined a farming party, having already gotten my win, so theoretically this is a group of people who are pretty experienced and know what they're in for. The fight with Sephirot Extreme is divided into three main phases. The first phase repeats until he's down to a certain point of his health. The second phase is a DPS check, and the third phase repeats twice, at the end of which he hard enrages. For the first phase, he only really has two main mechanics that you're going to be dealing with. And at the start of the fight, the tank grabs and pulls him to the center of the arena, where you get a brief chance to do some DPS. He will be hitting the tank with a couple tank busters here and there. There is one in particular that you see later on. The first main mechanic you're going to be dealing with are the Einsof puddles. 4 green spheres will appear in a T shape, as you see here. They'll very briefly go into the ground, creating a growing AoE that if you stand in, debuffs and will eventually kill you. Since these continue to grow, you obviously don't want to be standing in them, so the tank is going to pull Sephirot off in the direction of the lacking puddle. Very briefly after this, you will see 2 characters marked with AoE markers. The arrows mean that everybody needs to get into these, however there are 2. One will always appear on a DPS, and the other will always appear on a healer. To resolve this, we split the party. We have all of the DPS move to Sephirot's right-hand side. Both healers and the off-tank go to Sephirot's left-hand side. You want to make sure that these are far enough away from each other that the people hit by one are not also hit by the other. So we're splitting it into these 2 groups. And as long as all DPS always go to the right and the healers and off-tank go to the left, you never have to worry about these AoEs going to the wrong direction. The main tank, on the other hand, stands along the wall, because he can't be hit by either of these. The attack itself is simply some AoE damage that's split amongst the people hit by it, and it adds a vulnerability up debuff, meaning you will take more damage for the next 5 seconds or so. This is why you can't be hit by both of them, as at this point, getting hit by the second one would outright kill you, and the main tank can't be hit by either of these or he will immediately die to the next auto attack. Once Sephirot hits both groups, he returns to the center of the room, courtesy of the main tank, and you get another brief chance to beat on him for a little while, before the second main mechanic begins. However, at this point, you'll see Sephirot pull back a long, drawn-out swing. This is going to be the biggest tank buster of the phase. The second main string of mechanics begins when you see a single Einsof bubble appear. Everybody, tanks included, need to move between Sephirot and that bubble, tied as closely in as they can. Because not only is this bubble going to be expanding, but Sephirot is going to use another move. Directed at a single one of the party members picked at random, he's going to do a directional AoE that hits 180 degrees around him, effectively clearing half the arena. So you want this no-fly zone to be directed in the same place as the Einsof bubble, a place you're already not going to be standing. Your cue to move is when you see all of these AoE circles appear around you, which is yet a third mechanic. By this point, Sephirot has already picked his target, so he's readying to do the 180-degree attack. The Einsoft bubble is expanding, and now that all of you have your AoE markers around you, you need to spread out so you're not hit by either the Einsoft puddle or Sephirot's cleave, and you need to make sure none of your AoE markers overlap any other players. There are 6 small AoEs and 1 large one. One lucky son of a gun doesn't get an AoE marker at all, and one unlucky son of a gun gets the big one. It's all chosen at random. At this point, it helps if you've designated a place for everybody to run beforehand. Personally, I'm partial of running to his left butt cheek. However, this time I had the large AoE, and because we have 4 monks as our DPS, you want the monks to be able to stay as close to Sephirot as possible in order to be able to continue to do damage. So the large AoE runs to the wall. Another common practice is to keep the large AoE marker close to the edge of Sephirot's cleave. So half of your AoE marker is taking up space nobody's going to be in anyway. These explode and hurt a fair bit. Getting hit by 2 of these will likely kill you. With that said, Sephirot returns to the center, courtesy of the tank, and the phase repeats. He does the tank buster again, and we see everything we just saw happen again and again until you bring him down to a specific percentage. I believe it's 65 or so. At which point, Sephirot walks off to one side and starts charging up his own limit break. A number of adds spawn, and we've entered Phase 2. The small Bina adds and the large Kakma add. The Bina adds will spawn in groups of 3, whereas only one Kakma add will spawn at a time. One tank needs to grab the Kakma, while the other tank grabs the 3 Bina adds. The Kakma ad actually has a few heavy hitters. I think it has a vulnerability up attack as well as a pretty respectable cleave. The Bina ads, on the other hand, don't do terribly much, but when die, explode doing raid-wide damage. You don't want these to die in very quick succession, one after the other, or you'll take too much damage before you have the chance to heal. The Kakma also shares this trait, so of course you want to kill these as fast as possible to prevent Sephirot's limit break, but you also want to kill them as spread out as possible. The common strategy I've seen is to kill the first group of Bina adds, then kill the first Kakma ad that spawns, then focus down all remaining spawning Bina adds before killing the second Kakma last. To ensure you don't kill the second Kakma ad too early, you want to hit it as sparingly as possible. However, one punch here and there isn't really going to hurt anything if you need to keep Greased Lightning up. With the second Kakma ad done, Sephirot now actually casts his limit break by falling off the edge. There's a small mark you can see on the ground here that we have now marked, and we are all going to stack on. This is going to be an important location for the next phase. And Sephirot's grown a little. Prepare for his limit break, it's going to hurt, and this takes us into Phase 3. The third phase repeats twice, at the end of which he hard enrages, killing everyone. And we're greeted by the first mechanic almost immediately, Yasad. Sephirot does not have much in the way of cast bars or even marks on the ground indicating where someone is going to be hit. You instead have to look at the arena and the effects and Sephirot himself in order to tell what's going on. Yasad is indicated by a large yellow flash of leaves spreading out, and is the reason we all stacked on that beam. You see, when that flash happens, a snapshot is taken of where everyone's position is. You need to get away from where anybody else was at that time, because after a brief delay, very large stone spikes are going to stick out of the ground, that, if hit by, hurt a lot, and I believe add a debuff to you. Getting hit by 2 of these will likely kill you outright. Once the spikes clear, stack back on the B marker and get ready again. You saw a large blue glow appear in the middle of the arena. That has actually put a status effect on every single player. 4 of them have a green shield status, and 4 of them have a yellow diamond status. Take note of what you have, as this is going to determine where you go here in the future. One of the first things Sephirot is going to do with this is summon 2 orbs, 1 under each hand, and these are color-coded. Make sure to go to your color-coded sphere. These are going to deal damage, splitting the arena in half. And if you're on the wrong half, you will die outright. I've got the green shield, so I'm going over to the green sphere, and then we stack back in the center. 2 pillars now appear. This is for the people with the yellow diamond, as only people with the yellow diamond effect can stand in the AoEs around these pillars and not be killed outright. And if nobody stands in these pillars, we all die outright. So typically, as soon as the status effects are distributed amongst the players, a very quick R or L can be typed into the chat to indicate which tower you want to claim. I'm personally fond of claiming the right pillar, but then I have the green shield at this point, not the yellow diamond. So the yellow diamond split up, heading into their respective pillars, and just before Sephirot pounds those pillars down, doing damage to the players therein, several more familiar Einsof bubbles appear. These, of course, will be doing as they always have, going into the ground and growing in large AoEs you very much do not want to stand in, as getting caught in one for more than just a moment will kill you. And on top of that, Sephirot tethers 4 players. I believe he tethers the 4 players with the yellow diamond effect. It is the responsibility of the people with the green shield to break these tethers, claiming the tether. All you have to do is run in front of the person, and you should claim that tether. So with the green shield, I take a sweeping motion right to left to make sure I grab any that I can, and make my way very close up to Sephirot on the left-hand side. The people with the yellow diamond effect go very close to Sephirot on the right-hand side. I move the camera up so I can be very cautious of the Einsof puddle, and the people who now have the tether, the green shield people, are hit with an AoE that we can actually live through because we have the green shield. Stack in there very tight though, because you want to make sure none of the people with the yellow diamond effect are hit by these AoEs, and you want to make sure you don't get hit by the green Einsof puddle. I think now is also a good time to mention you can fall off the edge of the arena at this point in the fight. Now, the instant the Einsof puddles clear, the 2 pillars come back up, and the people with the yellow diamond effect there on the right-hand side need to break very quickly to get back in those pillars. They get pounded down, and we are, for the moment, safe. There's only a few seconds left on our status effects. However, for one last time, we need to run to our colored sphere. One chaotic part of the fight is over, and we're moving on to another. You'll see 2 players, 1 DPS and 1 healer, hit with a tether coming down from the sky. These indicate that that player is going to be hit with a move called Earthshaker, and these 2 players need to split the crap up. They need to move as far away from Sephirot as possible, and move very far to the left and right, just a little bit below the east and west poles of the arena, because Sephirot is going to be using a directional AoE that goes from him to these 2 players, and if they're standing far enough out, they should take very little damage from it, and they want to make sure that nobody else gets hit by it. Also, remember Yasad? The yellow flash means everybody needs to move, which is why everybody who wasn't targeted with Earthshaker needed to be stacking not necessarily on B, because you don't want to be hit with Earthshaker, but a little bit further back. By the time you see that flash, the snapshot determining whether or not you've been hit by Earthshaker has already been taken, which means you can actually run off to the side in order to dodge Yasad into the way of Earthshaker, and not be hit by it. We dodge Yasad and run back towards the center. However, not before you see a large glow coming from Sephirot's chest. This glow, the way it draws in energy, is indicator of a move called Da'at, which is actually something we've seen already, though I personally never tied the two moves together. The short of it is he's going to be shooting various people in the party randomly. They're going to be hit with an AoE around them, and if you hit another player with one, they will likely die. So very simply, at this point, everybody needs to spread out. The pillars have come back, which we saw before, however, none of us have the yellow diamond effect, so we can't rely on that. In fact, at this point, the only people who can survive being hit by this are the main and off tanks. So they need to split their ways, and everyone else needs to gather in the middle. The spheres are back as well, which again we've seen before. However, without a status effect on us to determine which way to go, it doesn't really matter which one you're hit by. Your best bet is to stand right in the middle so you can be cured easily. So at this point, be ready for a bit of a dance. You see an Einsoft bubble appearing to the left, as well as a nice large blue AoE appearing directly underneath you. Though every fiber of your being may be saying to get out of this AoE, stay in it, just for a moment, because it will be followed very quickly by Yasad. The yellow flash means now you should move. What Sephirot's going to do is pound the arena at that blue circle. This is going to cause a knockback. So you want to move out of the blue circle now, so the Yasad spike hits in the blue circle where nobody wants to be, but you still want to stand near the blue circle so you're not knocked off the edge. You want to be knocked approximately southeast, maybe a little bit south. Now, after the first knockback, you'll notice another blue circle off on the western side of the arena, as well as two growing Einsoft puddles. So the same deal applies. Everybody needs to get as close to that blue circle as possible, putting their back to a large stretch of land so you won't be knocked off the edge of the arena. And finally, one last blue circle appears on the eastern side of the arena, with presumably not many places to go. However, the larger Einsoft puddle should be disappearing very soon. So we run to the other side of the blue circle and get knocked where it just disappeared. Congratulations, you've made it through. Back to beating on Sephirot for everyone else, however, Earthshakers are again going out. So spread out. If you've got the marker on your head, DPS to the right, healer to the left. The blue glow on his chest again means everybody needs to spread out. And the yellow flash again means you need to not be standing where anyone was a moment ago. Ideally, you wouldn't want to spread out at all until you see Yasad trigger. But I don't think I've ever seen anybody not spread out, so you're just going to have to keep an eye on everybody and effectively spread out twice. Back to beating on Sephirot, and the tanks again go to the two pillars. Again, we see the two spheres, so stack for heals. And when Sephirot brings his head down, everybody moves forward for kisses. Because Sephirot is going to blow you away from him, and if you're standing too far back, you'll simply be blown right off the edge of the arena. If you stack right near Sephirot's face, you'll get blown near the Storm of Words. This is your biggest DPS check of the phase, as this needs to die before Sephirot uses his big move. You'll also notice that 4 Bina ads have spawned. A tank, obviously, needs to grab these and hold on to them until the Storm of Words is dead. The 2 spheres come back again, but everybody should be stacking reasonably close to the Storm of Words. so healing should be easy enough. The pillars go back, so the tanks need to spread out, despite that the tanks are still grabbing the Bina adds. And of course, we're followed by a Yasad. For the tanks, I imagine you could fairly easily stand on one side of the pillar and then move to the other side of the pillar. The DPS should all be standing near the Storm of Words, so it's very easy to simply all run off to one side and then run back once it's cleared. With the Storm of Words dead, now your goal is to kill the 4 Bina adds as quickly as possible, hopefully keeping them all bunched in the middle for some good AoEs. Again, reminder, you don't want to kill them all at the exact same time or you'll be hit by too many AoEs, and we're going to have another Yasad along the way. Once the adds are dead, you can DPS Sephirot for a very brief time, but when he puts his arm down on the side of the arena, it's time to stack in the large AoE circle that was left by the storm that we defeated a moment ago. And at this point, the entire third phase repeats. I gain the yellow diamond effect this time, so you can see how this goes. For the most part, though, I'm going to let this run as is, so you can see this run without interruption. Oh, and a friendly reminder that at any given point in this fight, this is about how close you are to a wipe. That we pulled that off was a miracle. But that was Sephirot Extreme. Until next time, everyone.